What's good, you guys? It's Lifestyle from lifestyledidit.com, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a few amazing plugins you can use to make your drums more aggressive. You can use this on the drum bus, or you could use it individually on like the kick or the snare. I'm going to be processing a drum bus for today to kind of show you a few plugins that are cool to use across the whole drum bus and make it more aggressive, make it punch more, bring it alive. This might be something you only want to do on beats where you want that aggressive vibe. These plugins can be used subtly, but I'm really going to be showing you how to make them like nasty and make your drums really pop out. So you probably wouldn't want to use this on like an R&B beat, but you can use these plugins however you want, obviously. But today's video, like I said, I'm going to be showing you how to go on the more aggressive side. So I'm going to play the beat and I have the drum bus soloed. I'm going to add the plugins to there and kind of explain what we're doing. We're going to be using a few paid plugins, and then we're going to be using one plugin from FL Studio that comes with it. So let's jump right into it. All right, so here's the whole beat. So I'm going to go ahead and just have the drums playing, right? And as you can see, they're all routed. All you do is click on this, come over here, right click, and then route it to that channel only. And then all of these will be going to this drum bus. So if I mute this, nothing's playing, right? I have videos showing how to do that. There's a lot of videos showing how to do that as well. So once you have them all routed, you see I have all these different plugins pulled up. So we have Hardcore from FL, Decapitator from Sound Toys, JST Clip from Joey Sturgis, and then the CLA 76 from Waves. So the first one we're going to do is this free plugin. I wouldn't call it free. It comes with FL and it's called Hardcore. So basically this is a stomp box. In real life, you would have a bunch of different guitar stomp pedals, and you would click this with your foot to enable the effect, right? Basically, all I did is get this distortion that they have from here. It's very, very crazy distortion, and it gets wild fast. So you'll see over here, I literally have it turned on to 1%, because when I click it on, you're going to hear what it does. I'm going to show you what it sounds like even a little bit higher than 1%, because it gets wild. All right, so these are my settings that I use for it. You can go ahead and copy these, and I'm going to show you what it sounds like with it on and off, and we're only keeping the mix knob around maybe 1 or 2%. So here's before. After. So we could back it off to like a maybe 1%. And that sounds pretty good to me. So let's check it in the mix. Let's turn it off. On. Makes it come through a little bit more. So if I show you this with it higher, you're gonna see why I don't have it higher than like 2%, because this distortion's a little wild. That's a little too much for me, so that's why I was keeping around there. So let's go to the next plugin. Let's turn this off. Next we have Decapitator. What this is another distortion saturation plugin, but what's cool about it is it has different emulations. So down here, we're gonna be emulating different styles for this. So you have all these different styles. Over here you have A, which is gonna model the Apex 350 tape drive preamp. Then you have the Neve 1057 on the N. So you have all these different styles that you can use, and you could read into each one and really see what it's modeled after. And then we have our drive knob to push it in. We have a low cut and a high cut, which would be EQing. And then we have a tone button for dark and bright. So you can either have a darker sound or a brighter tone, right? And then Punish adds 20 dB on top of that. So it really basically just takes the signal and slams it. So if we go ahead and just lightly choose one of these settings and lightly put in the drive, you're going to start to hear what this plugin does. So even barely going in, it's already getting pretty aggressive. So let's start from this setting over here. Then the Neve. So you see that these all have different styles. So if we put on Punish, it's obviously going to be insane amount of distortion, so we're not going to do that. But we're really just going to take this drive knob and slowly start to turn it up. So that sounds pretty good to me. Let's put it in the mix. Let's turn it off. And you can hear those drums pop a lot more. That's why Decapitator is one of the best plugins to use for this style. So the next one we're going to go over is JST Clip. which obviously a few of you have seen in my videos. I love using this plugin by Joey Sturgis. It's a very easy and simple clipper, and because he comes from the style of metal music, hardcore, post-hardcore, death metal, he pretty much created this plugin to get your snare to slam through the mix, right? But we could utilize this in any genre, obviously, because it's just a plugin for music and sound and audio, and we're going to use it on the whole bus to add a nice distortion and a nice saturation to the whole mix of the drums and bring them more forward. So I'm going to put this 2x multiplier, which pretty much makes this input knob work at 2x what we're saying it's going to use at. And then we have a trim knob and a mix knob, but it's really easy to use. So let's just go ahead and turn this up to 100% so we could hear what's going on. As you can hear, that's really loud, but it's already sounding very aggressive. So we're going to take this mix knob and go to 0% and just slightly mix it in. And this mix knob does exactly what this mix knob over here does, so it's fine. It's the same thing. So let's just before and after. You can hear it got a lot louder, so let's trim it back. Add a bit more in and trim it back again. One more time. Okay, so you'll hear that it's definitely getting more aggressive. So before, after. So the last plugin we're going to use is the CLA 76. Now, I personally probably wouldn't allow the 808 to run through this. You can, but I would just use this on all of the drums except the 808 because it has a lot of decay in it. And what I'm going for with this plugin is to tame a bit of the transient after the fact. So I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to let a little bit of the transient through, which is the initial hit, and then I'm going to kind of compress after that to bring down the decay of it, so it creates basically a higher transient and makes it punch more. So slow attack, fast release. I necessarily wouldn't want to run my 808 through that type of compression for this type of beat, but since we already have the 808 routed, we're just going to go ahead and A-B this. I'm going to let you guys hear it. So right now, as you can see, I have a slower attack and a very fast release, and we're going to be doing about 1 to 2 dB of compression. See how my needle's returning back to 0. I have a faster release, right? Because if I had a slow release, it's compressing the whole time. It's not going to get that punchy attack that I want. So I'm going to go with the faster release. And we're only doing about a dB to 2 dB of reduction. And I'm going to A and B it. So I'm going to turn it off and then turn it back on. So our output, let's bring it back a little bit. Okay, so our levels are pretty much similar, but go ahead and listen to how much more the kick and the snare are being brought up in the mix. On. And I'm actually going to take the 808 off from routing to here. So now we just have these drums, and it's going to let us hear it a bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and before. And it's really letting our drums come forward a bit more, and it adds a bit of a higher transient. It's emphasizing the transient since we're doing a slow attack, fast release, and our drums are getting a bit more punchier in the mix. So I hope these few tips helped you out. This is some stuff I like to do on all my drum processing. You could do it individually to the kick or the snare as mentioned, but in this video I wanted to do it on a bus to kind of show you how to really get the whole drum bus to, you know, pop out a little bit more, be a bit more aggressive. So if you did like this video, leave a thumbs up. You guys can follow me on all social medias at Lifestyle Did It. Make sure to hit my site lifestyledidit.com for everything else. Other than that, subscribe to your boy. Thanks.